What is up, everyone? It's Monday, it's the late night agenda, and you are all very, very welcome along to tonight's show. Do you know what I often think about, actually? I'm probably still the only one that calls this the late night agenda. I don't know if we write it anywhere. I don't know if that's how we script the name of the show. I've no idea. I just know that that's still what I call it after all this time. And do you know what? I'm too old, I'm too bald, I'm too set in my ways. Not going to change at this point, ladies and gents, am I? Look, it's great to have you all with us again. There's lots of stuff going on around the world of football, some little pieces around Liverpool, but as always, ladies and gents, this is your show. I want you to tell me what you want to have a chat about. I just finished, before I came on, I just finished recording a lovely 40-minute interview with Drifty from the Football Banter Show. That's going to go out probably tomorrow, maybe the next day, but very soon anyway. I have to say, it was great fun. I didn't know. I kind of knew Drifty a little bit from Twitter and stuff, but I have to say, the 40 minutes or so I spent chatting with the man, I could have went on for hours. It's really good fun. He's such a nice guy. Can't speak highly enough of him. He was super fun to chat with. Very honest. And yeah, hopefully we'll have some more interaction there with Drifty going forward. But look, as I said, do check out the Football Banter Show. Do give Drifty a follow on social media. And I really do appreciate him giving us his time and coming on for a chat. Where do you want to start, ladies and gents? As I said, this is your show. You let me know what you want to have a chat about. Any new signings. People are adamant about the signings. Loving a new signing. Doesn't matter what else goes on. Look, you bald fucker. Just give us a new signing. I just want the signing. Look, I'll get to it. There's lots going on about. Sorry, I'm very happy today. I'm in a really good mood. I'll get the language right. I'll get everything. I'll get speech, everything. You'll get it all tonight. I'll even string a sentence together at some point to make sense. Look, we can have a chat about Harvey Elliott. There you go. Callum wants to have a chat about Harvey Elliott. We spoke a while ago about this kid. I think he's the record holder for the youngest player ever to make an appearance in the Premier League. I think he was 15 years of age. Is that right? 15 years of age when he made his Fulham debut. What's been interesting, and I'm sure you guys have seen this as well, we'll go on to talk about the move in more detail in a while, but there's been lots of stuff coming out. He's a red. That's what I love about this. Harvey Elliott is a red. There's pictures of him at Anfield. There's pictures of him on the social media page being a young red. And you know what? That is fucking class. I absolutely love that he's a young red and that he's going to come to his dream destination, which will be his dream destination. Now look, he's an under 17 English international. He's going to join Liverpool this summer after his schoolboy deal with Fulham expired. The Telegraph is where I seen the original story for this, where I first seen this story, and they said that he'd been courted by a host of top European clubs, including Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain, RB Leipzig, and Liverpool have won the battle for a signature. Now, Liverpool will have to pay Fulham a developmental fee that will probably be set by a tribunal, I believe, unless of course Liverpool and Fulham can come to an agreement. This is what happens when like someone we signed Danny Ings from Birmingham or Burnley and stuff like that. When you have a player who has had his development done at a specific club and then he leaves on a free, or in this gentleman's case, he hadn't signed his, what is it they call it these days? It's not a schoolboy deal. I can't remember what the deal is called. Yeah, we will have to pay Fulham for his football education. And do you know what? He looks like a player. I'm not going to lie. You don't want to, again, speak too much about a young kid and put too much pressure on the shoulders. If we can park the man bun aside for a little bit, not a fan of man buns. There's only one man in our team who can get away with a man bun, and that's big Virgil van Dijk. But this kid does look like a talent. Attacking midfield player, I believe, from my limited understanding, he prefers to come from the right hand side. But as you've said in the chat, the Reds are hoovering up, excuse me, Keanu Hoover, using that as a bit of a pun, but we are hoovering up some of the best young talent around Europe. Signed young Elliott, we know we've got Keanu Hoover, we signed Sepp Berg as well. The future is bright for Liverpool, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes the best signings might not always be the headline grabbing sexy signings. Look at Andy Robertson. We'll see with Keanu Hoover, you'll see with Sepp Berg as well, who, by the way, is one hell of a unit. Have you seen him standing next to Klopp? He's a big lad for 17 years of age. But look, on young Elliott, what do you guys think? Have you seen much of him? Did you follow any of his time with Fulham? Again, I'd love to know your thoughts. Right, what else we got? Need men, not boys. You seem like loads of fun, Tanisha. Need men, not boys. What about the 19-year-old that's just going to sign for Juventus for 67 million quid? I'm happier if we got, say, Sepp Berg 2 years earlier in his development, save the club 67 million quid, and then 2 years down the line, he becomes another Delit. So sometimes it's about making the right sign. So we have a team full of men, Tanisha. So I don't know why you're so downtrodden or why you feel so negative about stuff. We're the fucking champions of Europe, my friend. Relax, it's all good. Scholarship is the word I was looking for. Shanzo, thank you very much. Can't wait to see Harvey Elliott in pre-season, said Gaming Guy. Crosby Red said, I like Drifty, but he can be very pessimistic during the season. I didn't get that impression from him, but you know what? He described himself that way as well, to be fair, Crosby Red, but all I got from the guy was positivity, happiness, and it was great fun. It was really good chatting with him. Elliot looks promising, said Ted Hutton. Good evening, Epic Gamer. How are you, sir? Dean Dixon said, see a lot of youngsters in training who, apart from Brewster, will never get near the first team. Glatzel and Duncan, I don't know, Dean. I think they might well have a future. You've named some good young players there, though. Wilson, Kent, Jaria, and we do have a lot of good young talent at the club. Pre-season, particularly this pre-season, with a lot of our players coming back late from the Copa America, the AFCON and stuff, these guys might get a chance to show the gaffer what they can do. Okay, what else have we got? Klopp simply a genius, said Neil Anthony. I love that, mate. Simply a genius. Stevie Richard said, Sepp looks like Connor if he slept in a greenhouse. I don't know how Mr. Crosby is going to take that one, Stephen. I just don't know. Harvey Elliott looks like a real talent, said Douglas James Horn. Klopp and Edwards building a dynasty at the club, said John Cable. I love it. Do you know what I was very shocked about, ladies and gents? I put up a poll on our Twitter account, and I made sure it was a nice long poll. I gave it the guts of a day and a half. And on this poll, I asked a very simple question. I'm just pulling up the poll here now and the results. So the poll was, how would you feel if Liverpool made no additional signings this summer, keeping in mind we also don't lose any important players? Now, I gave everybody 3 options for this one. There was, I'd be okay, I trust Klopp. There was disappointed about it, or there was unsure. And the results, I have to say, surprised me in a very positive way. So starting off, 10% of people said that they were undecided. 40% of people said they would be disappointed if we didn't make any additional signings. But surprisingly, the winning vote was I'd be okay, I trust Klopp, with a very even and very round, and I do like round numbers, 50% of the vote. And there was, over 3,500 votes cast there as well. So 50% of people said they would be okay if we didn't make another signing and that they trust Jurgen Klopp. Now, that isn't to say that these 50% of people don't want another signing. I mean, I would put myself in that 50%, but I would still like a signing. I just trust Klopp, and I think whatever he decides will be best for the club going forward. I don't buy into the mindset that it's FSG who are holding the purse strings. I don't believe that. I think if there's money there, if Jurgen Klopp wants to spend it, but it's about getting the right player at the right time. So there's time to do it. It may well still happen. We'll go on tonight to talk about a few more players. We'll talk a little bit about Firpo as well, and a few other bits and pieces. Dara said, why are people so obsessed about new signings? It's difficult for me to play devil's advocate on this one, Dara, because I'm a bit of a transfer whore, as I've said time and time again. And by that I don't mean that I just want new signings. I mean, I just love this time of the year. Now, I suppose for Liverpool fans, the very basic way I can describe this is if we're looking at a Manchester City side with 98 points, who won the Premier League and went out and signed Rodri, looked like they're going to strengthen the centre-back area, I suppose it's very easy for people to go, well, they're strengthening, why aren't we strengthening? Now, at the same time, it's very difficult to just strengthen for the sake of it. And you could look at Manchester City squad and go, okay, Fernandinho, he's 33, I think, years of age. He could be quite injured, or he could be picking up some injuries now. They need cover in that area. Very straightforward. They went and they got it. They lost Vincent Kompany. They needed a centre-back. They might not get Maguire, but they're looking for a centre-back. If you look at our starting 11, it's very difficult to pick holes in it, isn't it? Now, I get that if one of our front three got injured, there is a bit of a fall off there. There is Divock, Origi, and there's Ryan Brewster. You can put Lallana in there, you can put Fekir in there, you can put Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, but the drop off, the level and drop off could potentially be big. That's where I want us to sign. That's what I've said all summer. That's the area for me I think that we could do business in. I'll get on to talk about the fullback situation later on, because actually the lead thing I wanted to start off tonight was around the fullback situation, but I want to keep going and get some more of your comments in. Dean Dipson said, Dean Dipson? Oh, Dean, I'm ruining your name, mate. Dean Dipson. Where did I get Dipson from? Dean Dixon, excuse me. Said, Sepp in training looks a bit off the pace. It must be an amazing setup. Look, to be fair, he could be a little bit overawed as things stand. And the difference of Liverpool's levels of fitness under Jurgen Klopp and perhaps was a PEC's Vola where he came from in Holland. I mean, there probably is a tremendous step up, and it will take him a while to get into the swing of things. Gonad said, R.I.P. Dave Evans, the lad who discovered he had terminal cancer just before the Champions League final, sadly died this morning in New Zealand. Again, condolences on that one. I did read that. I try not to bring up these topics because... Not because that they're negative, because this is a very poignant topic, and that gentleman was in all of our minds around the Champions League final. We've seen the lovely messages from Klopp, from Jamie Carragher, and fair play to Stan Collymore, by the way, on this one for raising awareness about the gentleman's situation. So, of course, we do pass on our love and condolences for the passing of Mr. Evans. Now, we'll push on a little bit, ladies and gents. I don't mind if we don't sign anybody as our squad is good, said Mark. If I become a professional player for Liverpool, I'll buy everyone in the chat season tickets. Mate, I'll tell you what, I'm going to fucking hold you to that. If you do, Anthony, mate, I will definitely hold you to that one. Or anybody, if any of you fuckers make it professionally, look after this bald Irish man, and even Mr. Crosby if you're feeling extra generous. When does VVD return to Melwood, asked Callum. Do you know what, mate? I don't know. I don't know, because didn't they go quite far in the Nations League, so they went to the final. I don't know. I'd imagine he's due 3 weeks holiday, so has it been 3 weeks since the Nations League's final? I'd imagine he's due back soon enough. Gary said, sorry mate, with your opinion about Liverpool not signing no quality really frustrates me. I don't know if that was aimed at me, Gary. Again, it might not be. You could be having a chat with somebody else. We need signings, we need more depth, said Liverpool Football Club. Still no signing Champions League winners, said Lords Jimbo K30 or something like that. Yeah, no signings yet, but there's time to go. Relax, it's all good, my friend, it's all good. If you sell Van Dijk, we'll ask for, I don't even know how many zeros you put at the end of that, mate. I don't even know what that number is. AD Boo said Bruno Fernandes to United. Right, it seems that's the case. Yes, I've been saying that for a few nights now. It does seem like he'll end up at United, although it doesn't look like they've agreed a fee as of yet, from what I can understand. Happily Egg said, I honestly don't think we'll spend big. The club strategy is, now the team is stable and able to challenge, to buy youth for the future. If the youth strategy pays off, we'll be laughing. I sort of agree and disagree. I love the youth part, don't get me wrong, and I agree with you that we are signing up the best young players, but I still believe that even from a position of strength, you need to be adding to that position of strength. So I'm not going to be happy if we don't sign somebody in this window in an attacking format, but I will be able to swallow and I will be able to, move on. But it's not my wish. My wish, like many other people, is that we go out there and we sign an attacking player. I still think we will. There's plenty of time left to go in the window. Is FekirFriday still on? Until that lad signs for somebody else, Game and Guy, or until Liverpool sign somebody else in that position, I can't let go of it. I just can't let go of the fact that could happen. I spoke about it actually with Drifty a little bit earlier on, so I won't go into it too much because, that'll kind of ruin the chat that I had with him. Tonic said, Sepp did say day one was a lot more strenuous than he's used to. Yeah, I'd imagine it would be, to be fair. And even from other top level elite clubs, Jurgen Klopp levels of fitness are renowned for being, right up there, like really, 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 really hard work. Except for James Milner, because Milner just strolls in, just runs around, beats everybody in the lactation test or lactate tests or whatever the fuck they're called these days. It used to be a bleed test when I was younger, whatever they're called these days, whatever the new fancy name is. Did anybody see Pogba and Lingard having a little row? No, I didn't, but two dickheads going head to head. That sounds interesting. What is it, a dab off or something like that, I imagine, was it? Who can make the cringiest fucking Instagram video or do the most ridiculous little dance? The Revenites in, how are you, buddy? Welcome. Right, I said I wanted to have a chat around the fullback situation, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a bit confused. It's not unusual for me to be a bit confused. You guys know that about me by now. But Liverpool have apparently received numerous offers for Nathaniel Klein, who spent the second half of last season on loan at Bournemouth. Now, interestingly, there have been some murmurings that Jurgen Klopp could well look at retaining Nathaniel Klein as cover. Now, I'm completely baffled by this entire fucking situation around Klein, if I'm being honest. Let's rewind back to last season. Trent was out or unavailable. We played against Manchester United. Nathaniel Klein stepped in, did a very good job that day. I thought put in a really good performance, and then he goes on loan to Bournemouth. And the line that we're given is that Nathaniel Klein wants to play football, and that Jurgen Klopp couldn't reassure Nathaniel Klein of enough game time, and that Klein he wanted to go and get game time, and yada yada yada. He went, he got his game time at Bournemouth. Now he's back at Liverpool. Now, what do you guys think on this situation? We know we need full-back cover. We've got Adam Lewis. We know that we can play Joe Gomez at right back. We know Fabinho can play at centre back or right back. We know James Milner can drop in and play at left back. But we also have this 28, 29-year-old, very experienced, very good right back who's on our wage book, or he's on our what's the word I'm looking for, payroll as we speak. What do you do? What do you do? Do you keep him? Do you say, look, you'll probably get enough game time this year, Kleiny? Or has something gone on? Is there something there that we don't know about? That back injury situation just seemed to go on with Kleiny forever and ever and ever, with very little information coming out from the club. Now, I have no idea. I'm not trying to pretend I have any knowledge on this. I'm not trying to pretend that there was a row between himself and Klopp. I honestly don't know. But I'd love to know what you guys think on this one. Callum said, no, we're fine with Lewis, Robertson and Klein. We don't need first team as backup. I'd sell Klein, said Ben Washbrook. Lactation test. Yeah, sorry. Is it lactate? Lactation's when you produce milk. I know. As soon as I said it, I thought to myself, oh, no, that's not the right word, dickhead. But you know what? I've made a fuck up before, and I'll probably make many, many more as well as the channel goes on, ladies and gents. But I don't know, maybe they do have lactation tests. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they're all sitting there with a breast pump on. I haven't got a fucking clue. It'd be very unusual. I'll bring you back to milk the Fokker. You can milk anything with teats. I have nipples, Greg. Can you milk me? I hope people understand that reference. Otherwise, you're tuning in going, why is this bald Irish fool talking about nipples? Yeah, sorry, we'll push on. We'll get back to some form of normality. Right, what have we got? Klein will stay, said Callum. New contract for James Milner, said Mark 10. He deserves anything. Just give him everything. Give James Milner whatever he wants. Brian Kelly, yes, I fully with you on this as well. Vinnie Jones' wife passed away, and from my understanding of it, Vinnie Jones and his wife were both diagnosed with skin cancer, and his wife unfortunately passed away. So yeah, of course, condolences to Vinnie Jones and his family on the passing of his wife. It's more sad news. Jay Delaney said, Oxlade-Chamberlain coming back, Brewster coming through, and what a talent we have. Fabinho, right back, centre mid and centre back. Gomez can play in either full back position or centre back. Milner's versatile as they come. Henderson can cover Fabinho. Vandenberg mint. When you say it like that, Jay, it sounds quite good, mate, doesn't it? But still, I don't know. Kleiny, we have him. What do? Do you move him on? See, here's the thing. If we're not going to be doing much business, and I don't know if we will or won't in this window, but if we're not doing much business, then do we need to bring in the money for Kleiny? Can we not just keep him? That's where I'd be with this one. Rather than going out there and looking at spending 30, 40, 25, whatever it is, on a backup fullback. Crosby Red said, Klein is okay, but he deserves more game time than we can give him. Feel sorry for him not getting a Champions League medal, but I think he should move on. Yeah, it's I think he would have been a game or two short of a Premier League medal as well if he had won the Premier League. Maybe it was 4. I know he was a few short anyway. I get where you're coming from, Crosby Red. I definitely get where you're coming from. I like Nathaniel Klein. I always thought he was a good, solid pro. Yeah, I get where you're coming from. I do. Right, what else we got? Aspie or Alexander-Arnold, Robertson or Jordi Alba. I mean, Azpilicueta still is a very, 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 very good defender who can play anywhere across the back four, but he's getting on in age, so I'm going to have Trent there, thank you very much. And Robertson or Jordi Alba, give me Andy Robertson every day of the week, but do you know what, that doesn't mean I'm undervaluing how good Azpilicueta is or Jordi Alba are. It's just that we currently have 2 of the best fullbacks in the business. Congratulations to Bobby and Alison as well, to Aiden Andrews, because of course Brazil did win the Copa America last night. Congratulations to them. Was it a 3-1, I think, if memory serves me? I watched the game and I still can't remember the score. I think it was 3-1, wasn't it? Congratulations to Gabriel Jesus picking up a red card, which didn't really matter in the end because Brazil went on to win it. And Alisson, of course, won the Golden Glove, his third Golden Glove of the season. It was a little bit odd that Dani Alves got player of the tournament, actually. That had to be a historical thing to just kind of thank him for his career, I gather. But Everton, is that how you pronounce his name? Everton, because you can't say Everton, I think it's Everton. Got the Golden Boot or something, didn't he, for the most goals scored at the tournament. Kane said, Craig, I want to see Bobby Duncan. Yes, I get where you're coming from. Do you remember the mad loan, actually, or the mad sale when we did the Rafa Camacho deal to Sporting Lisbon? There was talk of Bobby Duncan going to Sporting Lisbon as well, and there was a couple of other Portuguese clubs interested in him, which that was madness altogether. Glatzel and Duncan, both of them have very bright futures. So again, pre-season could give them an opportunity to get into the manager's thought process. What do I think of Pepe? I've got to be honest, Ellis, and say what I've always said. I haven't seen much of Nicolas Pepe, but the people that have seen a lot of him, people whose opinions that I trust, suggest that he's not worth 70 million right now, and that it would be a gamble at that price point if we were to buy him. But as I said, I'm not qualified to talk about Nicolas Pepe. I haven't seen enough of him. I know there's a lot of Reds who really want this guy, but for me, the president of Lille seems to be trying to hawk him around and get interest in him and dropping our name. You know, the reigning champions of Europe. I don't think I've said that on tonight's show 6 times, motherfuckers. I don't think dropping our name will do any harm whatsoever to any potential value he's trying to place on Nicolas Pepe. Nobody's put in a bid yet, though. Nobody that I'm aware of anyway. Bayern Munich had interest in him. They look like they pulled back a little bit. They tried to say Real Madrid had interest in him. Nothing's happened there. And of course Liverpool have denied interest. But other people, I think is RMC Sport and Mr. Bufasi, I think that's the gentleman's name, seems to claim that Liverpool have interest in him. So again, I don't know, ladies and gents. I'm not going to tell any lies. As you can see, guys, we've gone past 17,850 subs. We are on the road to 18,000, which is a target that I'd love to reach before I head off my holidays in a couple of weeks. So if you're enjoying the stream, or if you haven't yet subscribed, please do hit that button. We do appreciate your time. And if you hit the subscribe button, Connor goes to Space Camp or some other lie that I can tell you, but please do hit the button, because the more subscribers we get, the more Reds we get to chat to. And you don't know, I suppose I say Reds, but I keep forgetting that we've got lots of subscribers that aren't Liverpool fans, like Mr. Leicester City FC Boya in there. Sir, how are you? Great to see you win. Yuri Tielemans is officially a Leicester player. Anthony, you must be pretty damn happy about that one, buddy. It's a good piece of business, and I'm happy for you, if I'm being honest, because he had been linked with a few other clubs around Europe. He was very impressive during the loan spell that he had. I'm sure you must be delighted, Anthony. And as I always say, if you're a fan of football fan content, get over there and check out Leicester City FC Boy, or LCFC Boy, because Anthony does a great job talking all things Leicester City. Klein's not happy, so we should sell, said Stuart Wallace. Look, yeah, if the player wants to move on, Stuart, I agree with you. If he sits down with Jurgen Klopp again and Klopp said, look, Kleiny, I can't guarantee you more than maybe X, Y or Z amount of games this season, then yeah, I get where you're coming from. It's all, especially when you're getting to the latter part of your career, and I think Kleiny's 28 or 29, so he maybe has 2 or 3 years left, maybe a little bit more, but let's say 2 or 3 years left at the very top level. So for him, he might just want to play, and I get where you're coming from on that one as well. Keep Klein for cover, said Poppin Powell 79. John Snow said, are you frustrated that you haven't signed defensive midfielder who can score goals yet? I would say, mate, yeah. But am I frustrated? No, I won't get frustrated until the window closes, mate, and we haven't signed anybody in that position. Until then, I have patience and I'm willing to sit back and wait and see what happens. The Copa America is now over, so if we had any interest in any players at that tournament, that might start to develop. A lot of teams gone out of the AFCON now, they're down to the quarter-final stage, I believe, at this point, and Ivory Coast went through, didn't they? So we might have to wait there if there's interest in any particular player who I don't want to say any names. But no, I'm not frustrated yet. I will be if the window closes and we don't add an attacking player in, but I'll still have full belief in Klopp and the squad. Callum said Klein's crosses are rubbish. Yeah, but he can defend, mate, and he can defend very well. But he isn't as good going forward as Trent Alexander-Arnold. But then again, there aren't many who are. Okay, what else have we got? Ghana won, Tunisia won extra time to be played, said Douglas James Horn. Thank you very much. And again, mate, congratulations on your engagement. I know I said it the other night, but it deserves to be repeated. I wish you both a very happy, long and loving life together, my friend. When am I going on holiday and for how long? I am going away on the 22nd of July, which is 2 weeks from today. So I'm just going for a week, so it'll be all good in that sense. And then I'm going away again in October. But yeah, it'll just be 1 week. But the good news is we're recording content to make sure that there's stuff that will go out almost every day while I'm away. So you'll still get new content going up. And depending on the internet connection while I'm away, because I'm not going to do data roaming in Turkey because I will be fucked when my phone bill comes in. But if I can get decent enough connection, I might do a video and try and record something or put something up as well. But we've got you covered, don't worry. We'll get content out for you. Harvey Elliott has already joined. He's in the bag. Yep, it is going to happen. You're right, mate. It's just a matter of an announcement and making sure everything is okay. But yeah, he's coming to Liverpool by the looks of it. How many times, Pop and Powell? I believe it is 6, my friend. 6. MUFC Gamer says, not good. United landed for pre-season tour and an argument in front of the cameras. I haven't seen what's going on. Somebody touched on it earlier on, MUFC Gamer. Pogba and Lingard, is it? Look, Pogba wants out, and now he's probably going to start being a bit petulant to try and, become a bit of a destabilising factor in the dressing room. We've heard Mino Raiola come out and say that his client wants to move on. What can you do? Get the most money you can for him, I suppose, mate, and try and reinvest that. There is some rebuilding to be done at United. Not going to lie, I'm enjoying it from an outside perspective. Obviously, not being a United fan, I'm enjoying the fact there's a bit of turmoil at the club, but it's a big job there. It's not a one window job. It's a probably 3-4 transfer windows to get things fully turned around. Brian Kelly said, almost 18k, here we go. Hit that like button. Thank you very much, Brian. Boya said he's absolutely buzzing over Yuri Tillman's great player. I didn't see the fee, mate. How much was it? I didn't see how much it was. Boya said, I don't know if you see my comment, but Leicester City have cooled interest in Wilson because we have reportedly put a £32 million in for Tovan. That's the gentleman from Marseille. Is it? Is that the guy? Same guy I'm trying to think of, Anthony? Interesting. Leicester maybe splashing. Are we splashing the Harry Maguire cash perhaps before they get it? Or what do you think here, Anthony? But yeah, I can understand. Florian Thauvin, I haven't followed his season too much this season with Marseille. Marseille can be a bit hit and miss though. Sometimes I watch them and they can be really, really good, and then other times they just look really disinterested. And their fans can be nut jobs as well. I remember, was it Marseille? Was it Marseille against... Who was it that Balotelli played for? Nice, wasn't it? I think there was... Yeah, wasn't there crowd trouble at that game at one point? Leicester, a brilliant signing, said MUFC Gamer. Tillmans is a top player. United regretting it already, said Yassar. Leicester to finish above Arsenal United, said Aidan. Wow, that's a big show. Stevie Richard said Leicester City boys top 6 for Leicester. As I said to you earlier on, if they have a good window, Leicester, even allowing for losing Harry Maguire, with James Maddison there, with Brendan Rodgers, who, if there's one thing I can give Rodgers a lot of credit for, it's working with young footballers, and he will continue to develop Maddison, and he will continue to develop the other young talents at Leicester City, and yeah, they could be a dark horse for a European place. Aziz Khan said, Craig, is Mignolet staying or going? Do we have any cover if he goes? Well, first up, we're a little bit up shit creek for the start of pre-season. I think we're going to have to use one of the under-18s keepers perhaps at the start, because Alisson, as we know, is not back from the Copa America. Mignolet, I don't think, is back from international duty yet as well. Caoimhín Kelleher has had to have a wrist operation after a broken wrist, so he's out for 6 weeks. Camille Grabara was taking part in the under-21 Euro, so I don't think he's back. And Shamal George is moving on to, was it Swindon or somewhere like that as well. So, yeah, we could be, for a week or two, we could be having to play one of the younger keepers, but that's alright. But getting back to your question about Mignolet, the honest answer is I just don't know yet, and I don't know if anybody knows yet. I wouldn't mind if he stayed. I mean, having Mignolet as a backup goalkeeper, it's pretty decent, and obviously we may very rarely use a backup goalkeeper. Touch wood. There's no injuries to Alisson. Then, maybe in the League Cup, something like that, you'd use a backup keeper. But I think it'll probably come down, maybe like Nathaniel Klein, to Simon Mignolet and whether he decides he wants to go and get game time. And I'll never hold it against any footballer that just wants to play, because careers are short, and he's got a Champions League winners medal, he's a Champions League runners-up medal. Maybe Simon Mignolet will just want to go and play, and I wouldn't begrudge him that if he did. Gianna said, do you think Leicester will finish in the top 4? Because I think they will, and I'm a Man United fan. I think top 4 might be a little step too far, but I think, as I said a couple of moments ago, they will challenge for European place. I'm interested to see the rest of the business Leicester do. I'm interested to see what Wolves do, and I'm intrigued more than interested to see what's going on at West Ham there. Obviously, they sold the big fucking lanky, peroxide-headed, moany streak of piss that is Marko Arnautovic over to China for a fee that they should have got more for, but they just wanted rid of the guy because he was just being an absolute dickhead. What else we got? I think West Ham could get top 6 at Anthony Cronin. Worst signing for United was Pogba, then Pogba again. What else we got? I'd like Mignolet to stay. He's not a bad keeper, said Ben Washbrook. Still seeing the blue shite. Right, what else we got? Craig, I don't know if you saw my comment already, but I've heard that Barcelona have said that if Liverpool want to sign Dembele, they have to pay 73 million for him. I didn't see that comment, but thank you for putting it in, because it is something I'd like to talk about actually. 73 million for Dembele. If it's me, I'm paying it. If I'm being blunt about this, if the fee for Ousmane Dembele is 73 million and Klopp has any interest in him and can put aside his behavioural issues, because that's the big issue here for me. It's not about his talent. It's not about anything except his what's the word I'm looking for? His attitude, really. Yeah, I suppose attitude is the word I'm probably trying to talk about. If Jurgen Klopp was to sit down with the guy and get the answers that he wanted, or got a feeling from him that he believed he could straighten him out, then for me, 73 million, if that's the figure, that's good business. I would happily pay 73 million for Ousmane Dembele. I don't know what everybody else in the chat feels. It seems like Felipe Coutinho wants to stay. We'll get on to Neymar as well, because some of these deals may hinge on what Neymar does, and Neymar is being his usual petulant, spoiled little bitch of himself by refusing to get back for pre-season training with Paris Saint-Germain. He was supposed to have reported back already. And we know what Neymar does. Neymar is a diva. Neymar thinks he can punch fans in the stand. Neymar thinks he can accuse FIFA of cheating, basically. Neymar thinks he can do what the fuck he wants, and he's an overhyped, completely overrated little diva. And as I said many times, for me, he is everything that's wrong with modern day football encapsulated in one little prat. So some of these moves are going to depend on if Barcelona are going to take him back. Now, very interestingly, what I said to you guys last night was I heard the vice president of Barcelona saying that he rates Dembele more highly than he rates Neymar. I thought that was very interesting. Yeah, very interesting. And he basically seemed to say that he didn't want to sell Dembele. Now, if there is a price put out and it's the 73 million that you mentioned, pay it, as far as I'm concerned, if Klopp can get his attitude issues addressed. Aiden Andrews said Dembele for 73 million, I'd take it. Tanisha said, my West Ham mate is not happy with the small return on Marco. I can understand that, and he's worth more, quite frankly, but I think it got to a point where West Ham just felt like they were sick of it and they just wanted rid of him, and they took 22, 23 million, I think, maybe. And he is worth more, there's no doubt in that, but he's a dickhead, isn't he? He signed a new contract in January. Oh, was it January? Yeah, in January. That brought his wages up from 100 to 120 grand a week, I think. And there was a 40 million release clause in that contract, but that ran out in, I think, the 20 something of June, or maybe it was the end of June, and nobody triggered it. Not even the Chinese club that were interested in him didn't trigger it. And now he's after going to West Ham or after taking a loss. It's in some ways, I actually respect West Ham just going, do you know what, couldn't be arsed with this. We want to get our pre-season ready, just get this gobshite off the books and take a loss on him. But I can absolutely understand your friend as well being a little bit pissed that the figure wasn't perhaps what it should have been. Anthony said Neymar didn't turn up to training. Yep, pay Dembele, or pay the 70 million, get Dembele. Bargain price for a good player, said Liverpool Football Club. UK lad said, yep, Dembele is class. Dara said, we put value on players, but how much would Klopp be worth as a manager? I don't know, mate. I don't know. I just genuinely don't know. On Jurgen Klopp and on the manager thing, and I will come back around to Ousmane Dembele, so if there's any comments I missed or you want to talk about him again, just bear with me 2 secs. Because Dara brought up Jurgen Klopp, and the Mirror reported something today that FSG are apparently uneasy about the fact that Jurgen Klopp is yet to agree fresh terms with the club. I'm giving you a quote here from one of their articles. It said, Liverpool board members are worried that popular manager Jurgen Klopp could leave the club at the end of his current deal as he stalls on signing a new contract. The 52-year-old, however, is reportedly not yet ready to commit for the long term as he takes his health seriously and is aware of the need for rest. Now, to me, and this is just my opinion, this is more sensationalist bullshit trying to worry Liverpool fans unnecessarily. The owners would put a new contract down in front of Jurgen Klopp tomorrow if Jurgen Klopp signalled that that's what he wanted to do. Everything that I've read suggests that they're just being very mindful and respectful of Jurgen Klopp. The last time Jurgen Klopp signalled how happy he was at the club, a contract was put down in front of him very quickly, which he signed, and he extended it. Now he's got 3 years left on his current deal. What's the rush? There is absolutely no rush here whatsoever. There's no need to be stressed about it from a fan's perspective. You can understand as well, he will have been here 7 years at the end of that contract, so let's wait and see what happens. His agent, interestingly, has come out and said that he does fancy the German manager's job at some point perhaps in his career, or he wouldn't rule out the German manager's job at some point in his career. There's 3 years left to go. Things are good under Jurgen Klopp. He loves it here. I hope his family love it here. I don't know that, but we all love him. Don't stress about it. Don't let this type of story in a newspaper stress you out, because if you look through the story in detail, there is no fucking story. All that they've said is that he's refused, or not refused, he hasn't yet signed a new extension to his deal. So what? He hasn't yet said he's leaving either. They're just, for me, just looking for easy clicks, easy headlines. And when I read this, I just thought, you know what, I got to address this in case people read it, because it's just a nothing story. There's just fuck all to it, like, really. Neymar is doing what Coutinho did to us with Barcelona. He does it all the time, mate. Neymar does it when he wants to get more multi-millions in his pocket, in his father's pocket. He's just an asshole, to be honest. And this is putting aside the other allegations that I haven't even spoken about. I talked about him punching a fan. I talked about his diva behaviour. I talked about him accusing people of cheating. But this is withstanding the other stuff, which I'm not even going to go into. But you know what I'm talking about, I'm sure. Rob Miguel said, I'm from South Africa. This is my favourite Liverpool channel. Mate, you've no idea how much that means. Thank you, Rob. It's always lovely to hear where people are watching, but it's even nicer to know that of all the fan content that's out there around Liverpool channels, that this one's your favourite, mate. Thank you so much. Kane said, would you have Zaha? Yes, but not at 80 million. And 80 million seems to be the mad figure that Crystal Palace have put on him. I think United, maybe the United fans in the chat can let me know this. I think United have a 25% sell-on clause as part of the Zaha deal that when he went to Crystal Palace. And I think Palace tried to negotiate that clause out when United were signing Wan-Bissaka. So, yes, I would have him. I think he's a decent player, but not at 80 million. I mean, I would much rather have Ousmane Dembele at 73 if that's the right figure for him. I've not heard any football news in ages. Will Pepe come to Liverpool? Said Robster124. Robster, mate, I'm not going to tell you any lies. I don't know. I've one thing you'll know, and I'm not sure how long you've been watching the channel is, but I will always be honest, even if it's not the sexy answer or it's not the answer that might get us more clicks or more likes. I'll just be honest, and I genuinely don't know. Neil Anthony said Terry did a whole stream about Klopp leaving Liverpool. Bite your tongue. Just bite your tongue. Don't talk about it. Just bite your tongue, Craig. Yeah, I'm gonna bite my tongue. Neil is my answer on that one. That lad and his channel are fucking dead to me. So I'll just pass, mate, and push on. Douglas James Horn said Neymar is a bloody prima donna. I hate him so much. Thank you for the super chat, Douglas, and thank you, Anthony, as well. He is, mate. He is. He is the worst example you could set for a child. I mean, I've got a young son now. He's 7. He's starting to get into football, and I'm not holding Neymar up as an example to him of how to play the game and what's good about the game. Not at all. He is a money grabbing prima donna, as you've rightly said, and I've got no time for him. Kieran McHugh said Neymar's a full-on bell end. Great footballer, terrible human being. I won't deny the man's talent. I get you, Kieran, 100%. If he had the attitude and put in the effort that Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo put into their careers, we'd probably be talking about him in the same breath. But he hasn't, and he won't, and we won't, because he quite frankly doesn't deserve to be mentioned up there. And I hope... Well, no, I can't be that begrudging towards him. I don't believe he'll ever win a Ballon d'Or. Not when you've got the likes of Mbappe coming through. You've got Virgil van Dijk doing what he's doing. You've got the up-and-coming talents, Frankie de Jong, Trent Alexander-Arnold, other various players around the world as well. De Ligt. I mean, just loads of great young talents coming through, and I probably missed a shit ton of them as well. So I'm not trying to signal out any club or belittle anybody. But there's a lot of good talent coming through that I think will surpass Neymar. And I'd be interested to see if Barcelona actually go ahead and pull the trigger on that deal. The Premier League needs Klopp, said Yassar. It needs him to knock the greasy oil money city off the top. Neymar tried to get out of Messi's shadow, but instead got stuck in an 18-year-old shadow. Yes, that's so true. I'm leaving Barcelona because I want to be basically the best player at a club and try and win a Ballon d'Or, and he goes there and he's eclipsed by Kylian Mbappe, and yeah, as you've rightly said, he's now stuck in a shadow that's going to be even bigger because it's going to be around for a longer time. Paul Turner said it's all scaremongering in the media regarding Klopp. It absolutely is, and it's people like that lad who I shall not mention by name trying to scaremonger because they're fucking scared. They're scared of Liverpool. They're scared of Jurgen Klopp, and they're living in their own little bitter worlds where they want to do everything to try and pull down Liverpool's I was going to say house of cards, but I think we're a bit stronger built than a house of cards, and they should be scared. They should be scared. They should be absolutely shitting themselves because we've got one major trophy in the bag now, and I don't think it's going to stop there. Spying Cop Iron said, great show, Craig. I love it. Thank you very much, mate. I love having you here as well. I really appreciate the kind words. Allison or Ederson? I'm going to say Allison, but again, I want to caveat that by saying Ederson's a very, 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 very good goalkeeper as well, and it really is, a very tough call. Sometimes it's different strokes for different folks, and Ederson is absolutely perfect for Manchester City, and Alisson is absolutely perfect for Liverpool. Two very good goalkeepers, excellent with the distribution. I wouldn't swap them, but I wouldn't swap him not because I think Ederson's shit or anything like it. He's very, very good. I just love our bearded Adonis, and first season in, he's already being talked about as a potential candidate for the Ballon d'Or. But even that withstanding, he's won the Champions League, he's won the Copa America, he's won 3 Golden Gloves. He's already justified his fee. I love him, and I can't wait to see how he keeps progressing at the club. Mossy said you'd want to pay 100 million for Son. If that's from Spurs, I'd take him. I don't know about the fee, but I do like Son. I think he's a great player. Alison all day said LFC 1892. What about the 16-year-old from Fulham, Harvey something? We spoke about him, mate. We spoke about him for quite a while at the start of the stream. Elliott. Yeah, we're going to sign him, basically, is the long and short of that one. And he's a massive red. There's pictures floating around of I think it's his Twitter account from when he was younger, and he's a massive red, and he's going to sign, and we're going to have to pay compensation to Fulham for his training. A United fan talking about Liverpool to attract views, shameful. Yeah, again, I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to give that dickhead the time of day, to be honest. After what he said and accused me of, he can kiss my ass, quite frankly. What else we got? I think Liverpool will only sign Pepe as the big signing this summer. They've just been waiting for the AFCON to end, betting Pepe in for life without Salah next season. Yeah, people are really hanging their hat on Salah not being here next season, aren't they? Because of him, or I can't even remember where the story originated actually, about Salah perhaps giving it one more season. In my head, if, and it's a big if, and I don't want it to happen, if Mohamed Salah moved on next season, then I'm going back to us going balls out to get Kylian Mbappe if that's the case, because why not? Quite frankly, but I don't want Mo to go anywhere. And again, on Pepe, what do you believe on Pepe? Well, and what do you guys believe? I don't know what to believe anymore, because you've got foreign journalists saying that we definitely hold an interest in him. You've got the Lille president saying that he believes Liverpool have spoken with the players' representatives, which, by the way, would that not be tapping up? So why isn't he pissed off about that? Well, it's because he's trying to sell the player and he's trying to get interest in the player. Now, that doesn't mean we haven't spoken with his representatives. I don't know. The English media, Melissa Reddy in particular, has said that Liverpool went out of their way to tell Lille that they've no interest. So what do you guys think? Do you think there's interest there? Do you think Lille's just trying to drum up interest, or have Liverpool really, really got this guy in their sights? Junkie Funky Smith said Pep Linders will become Liverpool manager in 2022, especially with Klopp picking him over Buvac technically wise. Well, look, what I will say about Linders is he is very, very highly regarded in the world of football. He spent 6 or 7 years with Porto. He did have an attempt at managing, who was it when he went to in Holland last year? I can't remember which club it was in Holland. It was a Willem II or something like that, and it didn't quite work out, and he came back and was welcomed back by Klopp with open arms, and he's an excellent coach. Whether he'll become Liverpool manager someday, I don't know. I'll be just guessing, but he's very good as a coach. Has a goalkeeper ever won the Ballon d'Or apart from me? I think, did Oliver Kahn win it? I can't remember if he did or not, but did Oliver Kahn win the Ballon d'Or? I know he was in the conversation. And I don't know if Gigi's ever won it either. Maybe somebody can help us out on that one. Has a goalkeeper won the Ballon d'Or? Aziz said Son from Spurs will be a dream signing. Do you think Stevie will go to Newcastle or wait? I hope he doesn't go near Newcastle if Mike Ashley's in charge. I mean, if Newcastle got in a decent owner, then Steven Gerrard at Newcastle, I think, would be a great, great marriage for both. It would give him time to develop a Premier League squad, and for us to really see what he might be capable of, perhaps coming to Liverpool then down the line. I think he'd be adored as well by the Newcastle faithful. But look, would anybody want to go there and manage under Mike Ashley? I mean, I think Stevie's clever enough to know that. And no doubt he'd have a call with Rafa as well. I'm sure Rafa would be quite happy to pick up the phone to Stevie and have a chat about what it was like to work with Mike Ashley. John Hamilton said, I know his agent said he'd like the Germany job in the future, but I don't think the role suits him, as Klopp likes time with the players and consistency. Yeah, the only way I could potentially see that happening is if Germany let things slip a little bit and the development of the younger players wasn't there and there was just nobody coming through, and they wanted to bring in somebody like Jurgen Klopp to oversee the entire thing right through from the 18s to 21s right up to the first team, and it was a long-term vision and he oversaw all of it. That perhaps might appeal to him down the line. But what is Jurgen Klopp now, 52? He's plenty of time. I know he said he doesn't want to be managing in his 60s and that, but he still has plenty of time. Carl Richard said, think Liverpool should try and buy Chilwell instead of Firpo. Very good player, just like Robertson. Chilwell is very good, and don't let Boya who you're talking about trying to buy Ben Chilwell. We looked at Chilwell before we got Robbo, and I don't think we will go in for him, but he is a very good player. And on Firpo, you've led me into this rather nicely, mate, so thank you for that one. Spanish outlet Mucho Deporte, which it sounds like another makey-uppy name, and I probably mispronounced it. They have reported that Liverpool have stepped up their interest in Real Betis wingback Junior Firpo. The 22-year-old is expected to cost somewhere between 30 and 40 million euro, although his full release clause is 50 million. Now, excuse me, I read something today that said that they want Liverpool to throw in Divock Origi as 10 million part of the deal. So let's say they wanted 35 million euro from. They wanted Divock Origi plus 22 or 23 million, whatever the exchange rate is. No. Just no. It's just not going to happen. Divock Origi, regardless of what happens, whether he signs a new contract with the club this summer, which I think he will, by the way, he's not going anywhere, let alone to Real Betis anytime soon. So if the interest in Firpo was real, they can forget about Divock Origi going the other way. It quite frankly isn't going to happen. Firpo, I've watched a few bits of him playing for Spain with the under-21s, seen a few clips of him. He looks a talent. He does. I'm not going to lie, he looks a talent. I've no idea how to judge a player's value in this market. It's near impossible for me to figure that out. But pushing that aside, is he a left back? Probably not. Wing back, I think, is a very good description of him. Maybe even a left-sided midfielder. But he does look a talent, ladies and gents. I'm not going to lie. And what's 30 million euro in this day and age? Yeah, it's probably average money. So that sounds mad, doesn't it? Like normal people like us talking around 30 million here saying it's like average money. But yeah, it is. It's an interesting one. And what do you guys think on it? We have 580 people watching. Wow, that's brilliant. Thank you so much for tuning in. Guys, as I said, if you're enjoying the stream, we're 40 away from 17,900, 140 away from 18k. Please do hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up as well. What have we got? Ben Washbrook said, yeah, I know he got one Golden Glove for Copa America, one for the Premier League. What was the third one that he got? It was the Champions League, wasn't it? Champions League Golden Glove. A bad move for Steve if he goes to Newcastle with Mike Ashley there, said Paul Turner. But anything that starts with Mucho can fuck right off. I think it started, Mucho. Yeah, it did start Mucho. Mucho Mundo, unless of course it's Mundo Sporto. We all know Mundo Sporto are the industry standard when it comes to making up news that isn't actually real. And I can say that because we are Mundo Sporto, so I can say that. Manuel Labor is your only source of information for absolute makey-uppy ITK stuff. What's happening with Harvey? It looks like it's a done deal, mate. It looks like he's going to arrive. I don't know if he's going to go into the first team or if he'll get some time with the 23s or not, but it looks like that's a done deal. I don't think he can sign a professional contract until he turns 17 in March, I think. Maybe I might have got that wrong, but don't quote me on that one. Oisin McGovern said, I just arrived, what's the crack? It's 90, mate. The crack's always 90 on here, Oisin. You should know that by now, my friend. Origi getting a new contract Liverpool this week? Hope so. There's definitely one there from him. I think Jurgen Klopp even had a call with Origi when he was on holidays just to reiterate how important he sees Divock and how impressed he's been with his development. It was Nijmegen. Thank you for Pepe Linders, Nigeb. I appreciate that. Nigeb also said Neymar is toxic. Now, why have you got the Britney Spears song stuck in my head, mate? In my head now, Neymar's jumping around doing the Britney Spears dance in that toxic video, and wasn't Britney Spears wearing like a red leather catsuit type thing? Now I've got Neymar jumping around in a fucking red leather catsuit singing Toxic in my head. Yeah, it's weird where the brain goes, isn't it? Thank you for that, Nigeb. Salah or Mbappe? My answer, I've been asked this question I think 5 times over the past week. Mbappe is my answer. I love Mohamed Salah, but you're talking about a kid who can be at the top level for the next 10 years, possibly winning Ballon d'Ors. I don't want it to be a case of Salah or Mbappe. I would like it to be a case of let's go balls out and get Mbappe next year. But yeah, look, I'm not going to lie. If you offered me either or, my choice would be Kylian Mbappe. And age would have a lot to do with it. But I love Mo. I absolutely adore Mohamed Salah. Are you surprised Bobby Duncan was training with the first team? Personally, I thought he'd get a year in the under-23s first. No, not at the minute, no. And sure, let's not forget we're going to have the new training facility as well coming in. Actually, I don't know when that's ready. Is that going to be ready for the following season? So eventually Klopp will be able to keep an eye on everybody in one facility. Pre-season he'll get. Klopp will give him a look and see where he thinks he's at, where his development is at, and maybe he'll think Bobby Duncan should have a loan. Maybe he'll get a look in at the first team. I don't know. I suppose it depends how much he impresses Klopp during this pre-season. Do you think the club is planning to do heavy investment next summer like Mbappe with new sponsors or stadium expansion, and that's perhaps why we won't sign any big signings this summer? Yeah, it's definitely a plausible way of looking at it, and I don't know if it's true or not. I've said to you before, you can make that assumption. You can talk about a potential deal with Nike. You can talk about saving money this summer for next summer. I don't know, mate. I'd be guessing, but it doesn't take too much of a leap of faith to look at that and think potentially. But again, I still think we'll do business this summer. How much will Harvey cost to Patrick Doyle? Technically nothing, but we will have to pay a development fee to Fulham. I don't know how much that'll be. I don't know if the clubs will agree a fee or if that'll go to a tribunal or not. But you're not talking huge amounts of money here. I think Danny Ings was a record breaking one at around 8.5 million, and he was a lot further along in his development and a lot more proven than young Elliott. So I've no idea. I'd imagine a couple of million perhaps at the most. Any podcast coming this week? The one with Drifty, that's going to come out. I recorded that earlier on. That'll be out tomorrow or the next day. We did the one with Cash. I hope you guys had a listen to that one. It went out yesterday. It's 48 minutes long. Myself and Cash had a great chat and I really enjoyed it. I always enjoy having a chat with Cash. Next Monday, I can finally announce this one now because we've tied down the dates. Next Monday, I'm going to be recording a podcast with Cash and with Jace Roberts. And I've been trying to get Jace on for a while. But he's a very busy man. He's got a young family. He works. He's a very busy guy. You know Jace from the chat. He's always in and out. Cash and Jace, excuse me, are going to come and record a podcast next Monday. I'm also trying to pin down Chris and Brian for another podcast. And myself, Brian and Connor are going to be filming maybe 4 or 5 segments together on Saturday. So there's lots of stuff coming up, guys. Lots and lots of stuff. Really pleased, Craig, that another LFC channel with Drifty were interacting with you. Yeah, look, that's what it's all about, isn't it? I mean, sometimes... there's 2 ways of looking at these types of situations. You can look at people as competitors, or you can look at people as fans, like yourself, that are doing a great job. And I've always tried to look at it and try and reach out to people because there's enough for us all. Do you know what I mean? There's enough room for everyone to grow. There's enough time for Liverpool fans to enjoy multiple types of content. And I really, really enjoyed having a chat with Drifty. It was the first time I've ever spoken to him, like person to person. I've interacted with him on Twitter quite a bit. But it was great. It was really, really good. He's a really nice fella. Thoroughly, what's the phrase I'm looking for here? Endearing. That's probably the right word. And yeah, I think you'll love it. I think you'll really enjoy it. I really enjoyed it. So I think you guys are going to really enjoy it as well. Make sure to check it out. Make sure to go over and check out his channel as well. Tell him we said hello if you're over there. I'm sure a lot of you guys know about the Football Banter Show and Drifty already. Yeah, he's a good dude. He's a really good lad. Mbappe wages would cause problems, said Ben. Maybe Ben. I don't know, mate. I'd imagine he would be on a shit ton of money, but I don't know, maybe there's ways around these things. It's about trying to keep everybody happy, I suppose, and I think that's where you're probably going with it, mate. If we sign somebody like Kylian Mbappe and he's on 400 grand a week, and Mo, Sadio and Bobby are looking at it going, well, we're on about 220 grand a week. What's the story? Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. Oliver Kahn did win the Ballon d'Or, said Thomas Caulfield. Thank you, mate. I had it in my head that Captain Caveman won it, but I couldn't quite remember if he did or not. Please, Craig, don't start singing Toxic Leave in your head. I didn't. So you must be proud of me, bro. Usually, I like to try and murder a tune, but no, I did keep this one in my head. I did sing it in my head, though. I'm not gonna lie. You know me too well. I did sing it in my head. Do you think Celtic will do well in the Champions League? No. Sorry. It's my honest opinion. I think they've fallen a bit far behind. The gap has just strengthened between other leagues financially and the Scottish League, and even Celtic with a huge fan base, what they can do. I suppose a lot will depend to see how far they get through in the qualifying stages. I'm actually going to get over to Celtic this season. A really good mate of mine is a massive Celtic fan, and he actually messaged me last night to ask me would I go over to Celtic Park after Christmas with him, and I said, I've never been, so why not? Brian, actually, I meant to ask Brian about this as well, and Connor, to see if the two guys wanted to come over as well and we could make some content around it. Perhaps even talk to some of the guys in Celtic about the safe standing section and what they think about it. I remember the Anfield Rap did a brilliant piece. I think Gareth Roberts and a few others went up to the safe standing section in Celtic Park, and if you haven't checked that out, actually, I thoroughly advise it. It was a very well done piece. What else we got? Hi Craig, really sorry I wasn't in the stream. No, don't you ever apologise, mate. Great to have you in. I love the fact that Alex Ferguson's still alive to see Liverpool knock United off their perch, said Cloning Souls. Anfield agenda or Love Island? Well, I mean, clearly you're going to see better tits on here than on Love Island, mate. I mean, that much I can guarantee you. But after that, it's up to yourself. Do I watch Love Island? No, I don't. I do watch some shitty shows. I'm not going to just sit here and mock Love Island. I mean, I watch The Island with Bear Grylls, and I love me soaps, me Home and Aways. My wife told me the Home and Away might be getting the fucking axe, by the way. I mean, that's terrible news. But no, I don't watch Love Island. Mbappe would bring in tons of sponsorship deals for the club as well. Yeah, absolutely. And you've got that whole Nike side to it as well. I don't watch X on the beach either, no. You and Drifty both wear your hearts on your sleeves when it comes to Liverpool. Yeah, and that's what we spoke about as well. We spoke about fan content, and we spoke about it being exactly what you said. People just being honest, and we all fell in love with the club and celebrate things in different ways. So yeah, that's exactly the impression I got from him as well. Any news in Kieran Tierney joining Arsenal? Not that I've seen. Nagab, no, nothing. Caballos. I have something on Caballos actually. Let me just grab my notes. Where is it? Yes. So it looks like Spurs have won the race to sign Real Madrid playmaker Dani Caballos. And that's according to the Telegraph, not according to Craig Holden. According to the Telegraph. So don't come at me and say I told you Spurs are signing Dani Caballos. I mentioned previously that Mauricio Pochettino was going to reach out to him and have a phone call with him to try and convince the player that he'll get enough playing time, that he'll be able to develop, and that his future should lie at Spurs. One thing that always put a doubt in my mind about any potential Liverpool deal for Caballos is that apparently Real Madrid want to insert a buyback clause in the contract, and I just don't get that. I really don't. I don't get, if that's the case, why Spurs would do it. Because Pochettino could bring him in, he could hit the ground running, he could have a great season, and then Pochettino could look at developing a midfield around him, and Real Madrid come back in and go, no, do you know what, we want him now, sorry, bye. I don't see Liverpool doing that deal, and I'd be very surprised if Spurs would include that clause in any potential contract. €50 million was the fee that I'd seen mentioned for that deal, so again, take from that what you will. Junkie Funky Smith said Mbappe will get more sponsorship deals with Liverpool, plus you could box him off 20 million and put him in the same money as VVD and Salah. There's always ways around it. Yeah, you could give him a lump sum, absolutely, a lump sum signing on. Any more on James Milner contract? Not that I'd seen. Michael Butler, no. He's got a year left. If he signs another year, great. Whatever James Milner wants to do is good with me. Varun said Sissoko, Ndombele, Ceballos. Sissoko, I mean, come on. I'm not. Are we really talking about Sissoko from a worrying point of view? Sissoko had a decent section of his Spurs career. Ndombele and Ceballos, good players, very good players, but they might be losing Christian Eriksen, so they are going to lose some creativity as well. What else we got? Who do I think Liverpool will sign? I mean, it's the $64,000 question, isn't it? I still don't think Fekir is dead and buried just yet. And I mean, the interest, Nicolas Pepe obviously is one that until the AFCON is finished or he signs for somebody else, or I don't know what else the club can do to put that interest to bed other than brief the journalists like they seem to have, the English-based journalists, that there's no interest. So I don't know. Do I get over to Anfield often? Not as often as I'd like, Patrick. No. I used to go, and when I say used to, I'm even going back just 2 or 3 years. 4, 5, 6 times a season. Last year was the first season I didn't get a ticket, and I refused to pay the travel agent prices to go over because it's getting more and more expensive. It's just about tickets, mate, like anybody else. If I got a ticket to the first game, I'd be over. If I got a ticket to 10 games, I'd probably go over to 10 games. It's just all about getting access to tickets. And like many, many, many other Liverpool fans around the world, pal, it's just getting fucking near on impossible to get a ticket without paying 499 quid for a hotel and match ticket, which they can just kiss my ass. I'm not paying that anymore. And by they, I mean travel agents, by the way. Sorry, not the club. I'm talking about the travel agents here. Can won the Golden Glove in the World Cup, never the Ballon d'Or. Lev Yashin, 1963, was the only goalkeeper to win the Ballon d'Or, said Ian. I appreciate that, mate. Thank you for looking that up. What have we got? Do you think AJ will beat Ruiz? He should do. Should have beaten him in the first place, Dara. You should have just kept him at distance, fought like he fought against Joseph Parker, and clinch when he got on the inside. But I don't know if it was the fact that he knocked Ruiz down and he tried to go in for the kill that got him caught, because Ruiz has fast hands, and Ruiz has that proper amateur pedigree, like a lot deeper than Anthony Joshua. It's a big gamble. If I'm advising AJ, I'm saying, look, fuck this, going back to New York, trying to prove a point nonsense, mate. Get him back to London, or fight him in Wembley, fight him in Cardiff maybe if needs be, but minimise the chances here of Ruiz causing another upset and just get the fucking job done. Dance around the ring, beat him on points, take no risks and move on. It looks like Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder's rematch is set for February, so long as neither fuck up. And I think it looks like maybe Deontay Wilder's going to be fighting Luis Ortiz again. And I think if he gets past Ortiz, it looks like it's all set for a rematch of Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury in February, which, if I'm putting money on it, I'm putting it on Tyson Fury. PH said, I think the only player that will sign is Pepe. We need to forget Mbappe, it ain't going to happen, said Mark Williams. Will be bad for the club regards to wages and harmony of the squad. Just look at United. Don't get me wrong, he's world class, but no. It's very easy to just say no, and I can absolutely understand where you're coming from, Mark, but why not? Is kind of what I'd say, because right now we are back-to-back Champions League finalists. Our stock couldn't be much higher around the world when it comes to attracting sponsors, commercial partnerships, global deals, bringing in players. We know that this is our last season on the current deal with New Balance with regards to kit manufacturer, so we're in a great place to try and negotiate a record-breaking kit manufacturer deal. So the money could be there, mate, and I'm common sense would say no. I get you. I absolutely get where you're coming from, but football, some of the time it's about dreaming, isn't it? And as fans, I suppose we can always have that dream. But yeah, look, common sense would say we're not going to do it. It'd be a world record fee, I'm sure. Tunisia and Ghana has gone to penalties, Stuart said. Thank you very much. Please do let me know who goes on to win that one. Spurs are a serious threat. They're alright. They're a good side. Seen that, yeah, consistently in the top 4, Champions League finalist, very good manager, fantastic new stadium. I still think they're a little bit behind Liverpool and Manchester City, but they're definitely a very good squad. I'm not going to say otherwise. John Hamilton said, buyback clauses for me should only mean if a club decides to sell on a player, the previous club has an option to buy back. It gets really tricky then, doesn't it? But I get where you're coming from, like a first refusal kind of contract. Remember the Ibala saga for around 85 million a few months back? Yeah, I remember the Ibala, and I remember them trying to link a swap it deal with Mo going the other way, which was just never going to happen. Did anybody see Masvidal murder Askren? I did. Was it the fastest knockout in UFC history? Flying knee, Sparko, end of conversation. I did see it, Tommy. I'm not a massive UFC fan, but when something like that happens, yeah, I did see it. What a knee. Like, just gone. Bye-bye. Good night. Well done to the Brazilian boys, said Lee. Yes, congratulations. Congratulations to the Brazil squad on winning the I was going to say the AFCON, the Copa America. Thank you, Jonas. Really appreciate those kind words. Can't understand when nobody buys Vardy. Man's up there every season. He doesn't want to go anywhere, mate, I think is the reason why nobody buys Vardy. Arsenal tried to sign him, was it last summer? If it wasn't last summer, it was the summer before. But Arsenal really did try and get him, and he just seems to be happy there at Leicester. He seems to be settled at the club. The fans love him. I think he just likes being there. I mean, let's not forget, this man fought his way up from non-league. And sometimes players are just happy, and that could be the situation there with Jamie Vardy. Am I going to watch Liverpool versus Tranmere? Yes, on Thursday. I'm going to do a watch-along of that, actually. I haven't mentioned that yet. It is on LFC TV, isn't it? The Liverpool Tranmere game on Thursday. I'm 99.9% sure it is. So yeah, we'll do a watch along of that game. It'll be the first one of pre-season. So as long as it's on LFC TV or on television, which I haven't yet checked because I'm stupid and I should have, but I think it is. Then yeah, we'll be doing a watch along of that one. It's on Thursday night, isn't it? Let me just triple check that on my phone. God bless Live Score as an app. I think it's on Thursday, isn't it? Dates Thursday. Liverpool, Tranmere. It isn't Thursday, isn't it? Where the fuck is this gone? Europa League qualification. Where's the friendlies? Tranmere Liverpool, yeah, 7:30 on Thursday. So if it's on TV, on LFC TV, yeah, we'll be doing a watch along. Joshua says it is, so yeah, you can put that one down for our first pre-season watch along. And I can't fucking wait. Do you know what? I cannot wait. It's great talking about possibilities or talking about possible transfers or what may happen, but nothing beats watching the Reds in action. And I quite like watching the younger players and seeing what they're capable of. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing a watch along of that one. Hope you can join us for it. If it starts at 7:30, what will we do? We'll probably start 15 minutes beforehand, do the watch along, and probably do another show afterwards as well. What else we got? Klopp will sign the new contract. He has the LFC bug, said Spy on Cop Iron. If we buy Pepe, do you think he starts in a 4-2-3-1? No, probably not. I don't know. I can get where you're coming from, but 4-3-3 has worked so well for us. It's allowed us to be so strong defensively, and it makes our fullbacks vitally important. Sometimes I suppose maybe we get a little bit caught up on formations. I don't think we're signing Pepe, by the way. That's my opinion on it. That's not based on it other than guesswork, but I don't think we're signing him. Firmino's been Brazil's main man during the Copa America, said Happily Eggs. To be fair, I thought Gabriel Jesus had a very good tournament there, as well as Everton did as well. It's very weird you say the phrase Everton had a good tournament in the same fucking sentence. Though I think Gomez will start the season, yes. If I'm guessing, I'm saying Virgil van Dijk and Joe Gomez are Jurgen Klopp's go-to centre-back pair for this season, which might sound harsh on Joel Matip, but I think it's the future, if I'm being frank about it. And happy birthday, by the way, to Virgil van Dijk. Virgil van Dijk's 28 years of age today, so happy birthday to our Champions League, potentially Ballon d'Or winning Dutch Colossus, Virgil van Dijk. Do I do a watch along for all the games? Yes, we do. Well, again, I say yes to every game, Michael. We do 95%? Unless something comes up, mate, yes, we do. We do watch alongs. We did all the Premier League games, Champions League games. I think I might have missed 2 games all season because one night I had to go to a comedy show with my wife when we played Arsenal. I think I missed one more. But other than that, yeah, we do watch alongs of all the games. Which centre-back should start alongside Van Dijk? I think he probably put that in, mate, before I answered. Swap deal Origi and Firpo and sign Pepe. We're not getting rid of Origi, James. And whatever about Pepe, I'm not sure, mate, whether that happens or not. And Firpo will be a good piece of business, but we're not getting rid of Origi. He's not being included in part of any deal to sign Junior Firpo from Real Betis. Jurgen Klopp wants to extend his contract, and even at that, the club would just want him here this season, so he's not going to be used as a make-weight to sign Firpo. Bruno Fernandes versus Fekir. Who am I picking? I don't know enough about Bruno Fernandes, and I love Nabil Fekir. If you can guarantee me Nabil Fekir's knee doesn't fuck up, I'm going for Fekir. If I'm rolling the dice to play safe, you'd probably lean towards Bruno Fernandes because it'd probably be a safer bet, but I would rather Fekir personally. And I think there's a reason why Jurgen Klopp wanted Fekir last year. Now, why it didn't happen or not, it must be down to the knee. I don't know. We're all guessing it's down to the knee. Hansy said, not going to lie, love myself a bit of my tip. Said Hansy. I get where you went with that, mate. Klopp's a genuine red now, people. That parade, wow. Yeah, that was a great parade, mate. It was. If we had Pepe, we can rotate in and out any of the front 3 positions. I wonder with Pepe, I wonder how much of this is just hysteria amongst Liverpool fans, like other players in the past that we knew fuck all about, but suddenly became the best thing since sliced bread. I don't know enough about Nicolas Pepe to say if he is or isn't good enough, but there's a reason nobody has put their money down on the table yet for Nicolas Pepe. There's a reason Bayern Munich looked at him, decided he wasn't worth the money, walked away. There's a reason his club are hawking him around, trying to get his value up. I don't know. Everybody that, as I said, that knows French football that I've read about has said that he's not quite there yet for Liverpool. He's not quite up to Liverpool standards. Now, that doesn't mean he can't progress, and that doesn't mean Jurgen Klopp won't look at him and go, you know what, I can make you into a superstar, but not at the 70 million that they're asking a Lille. That seems too much for me. Tunisia win 5-4 on penalties. Thank you, Douglas Armshorn. Imagine signing that Everton guy, said Tom Jones. Yeah, I've often said this to people. How many shirts would they sell? Imagine that. Imagine how weird it would feel going in to sign Everton and putting his name on the back of a Liverpool shirt. He does look like a talent. Is it Gremio he's playing with? He looks like a very talented player. What have we got? John Hamilton said, hit that subscribe button, folks, and drop a like as well. Don't forget to share and turn on notifications. Doing my job for me, John. Thank you very much, mate. Where are we at? 536 people still watching. We're 36 away from our next 100, which will leave us getting close to 18k. I can't believe where we are. I know I keep saying it, but fuck me, I can't believe after 15 odd months that we're where we are. It's I'm humbled every time I come on. No marquee signings, please. They're all divas, said Happily Eggs. Pepe had agreed a deal but will be released after the AFCON. I don't think that's true, mate, but I don't know that it isn't true as well, Callum. I'm just my opinion. Liverpool should buy Everton because Mane will be the last one to come back, potentially missing for the start of the season. You don't buy players though for 2 or 3 weeks. You're buying players for 4 or 5 years. It's like when people say, X, Y, and Z is going to be injured for 3 months, go and buy a new player. That's not the way managers think long term, because they then have to justify to that player or the player that's coming back why they might not play. Yeah, you're not going to sign somebody. No, I'm not saying we don't go and sign Pepe. I'm just saying you don't sign somebody for short term reasons like that. Been no concrete bids for Fekir as well. Makes you wonder why, said Embro. Yes, there is that as well. Like, it's... Look at it this way. There's a couple of things make me think Fekir isn't dead in the water. And I know you probably think, shut up, it's done. Shut up, shut up, shut up. But he's available. Jean-Michel Aulas has openly said that there's an agreement in place that Nabil Fekir can leave Lyon. He's got 1 year left. He ain't signing a new deal. Nobody except maybe Arsenal and a little bit of interest from AC Milan have pulled the trigger. We have a friendly with Lyon in Switzerland. I don't know if that's linked. It might not be. It might be. But as I keep saying, 55 million last year. The club might have looked at it and gone, with the medical report, maybe with his knee, that's a lot of money. I don't know if we can take that risk. 12 months later, Champions League final. Champions League winners, lots of money in the bank, and a fee of maybe 27, 28 million, half the risk. Is it worth rolling the dice? Well, yeah, I would say so. I would say that even if you got 25, 30 games a season out of Nabil Fekir, it would be worth paying 26, 27 million quid for him. But then again, I'm not running the club and I don't know what the medical records show. His knee could be made of fucking Weetabix for all I know. I don't know. Do you know that Lallana is our 4th club captain behind Hendo, Milner and VVD? 5th is Lovren. Doesn't Klopp do it on experience after Henderson? Is that how it goes? Maybe, I don't know. It's not really that important either. Henderson's the captain and that's that really. Liverpool should bring Dumfries from PSV as a backup to Trent. It's a good shout actually. I haven't seen much links to that guy. Yeah, PSV have a few decent players there actually. Now I know judging players from the Dutch league is very difficult, but he performed alright in Europe as well. As did Berg, another player worth looking at. And wasn't there, is it Lozano or another guy as well from PSV? But yeah, it is interesting, mate. And we haven't seen much genuine. Now maybe we're waiting to see what happens with Kleiny here, but yeah, there hasn't been much genuine links to fullbacks. Fekir for free in 2020, said Stuart Wallace. Yeah, technically yes, but if you're a Lyon, mate, you're not going to want to let him go free. I mean, Lyon are a club that are in the stock exchange, so they have to answer to their shareholders and to their stockholders, so they can't just let a player walk like that for free. Yeah, that's not the way they'd want to run their club. There will be a big cheer if Fekir gets unveiled. Yes, there will, and there will be me getting his name on the back of the shirt straight away as well. Virgil should be captain, in my opinion. Why should he be captain, Ben? Because you think he's our best player? Because he's a leader? He's going to be a leader whether he's an armband on his arm or not. And I keep saying this and I'm sick of fucking saying it, but Jordan Henderson's Liverpool captain, and Jordan Henderson will be Liverpool captain as long as he's at the football club. Maybe Virgil van Dijk doesn't want to be Liverpool captain. Maybe Virgil van Dijk likes not having all the media responsibilities, corporate responsibilities, community responsibilities that goes along with being Liverpool captain. It's not just a matter of pulling an armband on and walking out onto a pitch. So much more goes on when you're captain of a club like Liverpool, United, Chelsea, City, any of the top clubs. Like, it's extra work, and maybe Van Dijk, or maybe he would, I don't know, but it's not going to happen anytime soon because Jordan Henderson is a European Cup winning Liverpool captain. Happily Egg said Fekir's Weetabix knee. Now I know you're talking about lactation. Yeah, there you go. Do you know what I mean? A little bit we need sugar now. Oh, hang on. Pour some sugar on me holding. There you go. Weetabix, sugar, milk. Job done. We've sussed it in one show. It's Fran said, I think Fekir is good, but he was behind Ndombele and Aouar for most of the season for Lyon. Christian said, adding creativity in midfield will be vital for next season as Liverpool will be a threat on the flanks and in the middle of the park. We definitely need to increase our goal tally for midfield, Christian, because that was the one area I think this season where it quite frankly wasn't good enough. We didn't get a good enough goal return from midfield. Klopp holds Hendo in high regard as captain. Yes, and rightly so. Henderson is a leader. I mean, we probably don't see it as much because we're not in and around that dressing room, but Jordan Henderson is the leader of this club, and Jordan Henderson deserves to be the captain of this football club. Stephen Booker said, Craig, as good as a captain as I think VVD would make, you wouldn't take it off Henderson and cause yourself unnecessary headache. Exactly. Trent Alexander-Arnold looks like a future Liverpool captain to me as well, and he has time on the side for that to happen. Van Dijk is cool to do all the captaincy PR BS, and you know this personally, Lee, do you? Spoken to him about it. He's told you, do you know what, I don't need time with my family. I'm happy to go and talk to corporate sponsors and sit in front of the camera and go do work in the community, which, to be fair, I think most footballers are more than happy to do that side of it. It's just complete fucking guesswork, Lee, mate. Sorry, I'm not buying it. You don't know, same as I don't know that he does or doesn't. It's just guesswork. Milner's a great vice captain. He's got a good head. He's been invaluable building this team, and its mentality. Look, James Milner's fucking class, yes. And James Milner does bring steel, determination, a winning attitude. But look, we have a team full of leaders. That's the really important thing to remember here. We have a team out there full of leaders. Alisson, Van Dijk, Robertson, young Trent even. Moving into midfield, Henderson, Milner. Moving up front then, Bobby Firmino leads from the front. We have a team full of natural leaders. It's brilliant. It's great to be able to say that. And it's great that you guys can come and say, I think X, Y or Z should be captain, because it shows that we do have these leaders of men out there on the pitch, which is great. It's what you want at the club. Henderson led by example for the last few months of the season. Robertson could be captain. He does it for Scotland. Yeah, again, loads of good choices there. Steven Gerrard, by the way, has admitted yet again that he wants to try and take Ryan Kent back to Rangers, but says it would only be possible via a loan. Liverpool don't seem too keen on a loan at this moment in time, and if Kent was to move on, it looks like Liverpool want to do it on a permanent basis. And one article that I've read suggests that Liverpool see Ryan Kent at the same level of value as Manchester United paid for Daniel James from Swansea, so somewhere around 12-15 million pounds, something like that. I don't know what to say on this. Gerrard's made no secret, or have Rangers, that they'd like to get Kent back, but I just don't think they can afford him, and it'll come down to whether Liverpool get an offer to move him on elsewhere for a fee that they're happy with, or whether, I don't know, whether nothing happens and Ryan Kent does go back out on loan. I genuinely don't know. He just wants to play football, and again, you can't argue with anyone that wants to just play football. He wants to go on and develop his career, and he came out a while ago and said that he was sick of loans. Basically, he was sick of coming back to pre-season and doing his best and then getting shipped out on loan, and I understand where he's coming from. Origi and Shaqiri returned to Melwood today as well for pre-season training, so we knew the first group of players were back on Saturday, and now bit by bit we're going to see the rest of the squad gradually start to come back, which is great. I mean, things really start to heat up and get exciting from here. We start to look forward to football. We know the first game's on Thursday, and we can stop guessing and having fuck all to really discuss, because we know nothing's happened transfer wise, so we haven't had much to talk about there. And you guys have done really well to keep coming on here and keep the comments coming over the past few weeks, where it's been difficult, hasn't it, at times. I mean, I sometimes think it's even led to some arguments because people are frustrated and there hasn't been too much to go on. Douglas James Horn said last hour of being 26. Well, happy birthday to you, buddy. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day tomorrow. 27, mate, you're still fucking 10 years younger than me. 10 and a bit, so you've loads of time. Lee said, my captaincy in order would be Hendo, Milner, Lallana. Tom Boland, how are you, buddy? Welcome in. Will Firmino be on tour? My honest answer there is I don't know. He'll get 3 weeks off now, which is the case when players finish like that. They'll get a 3 week holiday. And I don't know if he'll join up with them or whether he'll go back to Melwood. Maybe somebody else in the chat would have that information. I probably should have looked it up, but I don't know if he will be on the tour or not. I'd say it'd be close. I'd say it'd be close towards the end of it, maybe. Stuart Wallace said, I don't think we will ever sign Fekir due to the knee problems, even for free. I suggested for free because Fekir will struggle to get any offers unless he refuses to sign a new deal and moves on. Yeah, it is a strange situation, Stuart, mate. I'm not going to lie. I just look at it and go, why is nobody going for him? It could be that it's the knee and it is bad, or it could be various other reasons. It could be wage demands, it could be money, it could be Leon, I don't know, but he didn't seem to be out that much this season with injury. And I'm not going to lie and say I know the last 3 years of his injury record, because I don't. But there's definitely something to what you're saying. For that cheap. Same with Ziyech, by the way. Ziyech available apparently for 30 million euros and not much interest. Did you guys see that Tadic signed a 7-year deal at Ajax? I think 4 years of that is playing and 3 years of that is coaching. As in going on to be a coach, I believe. 2 more sleeps, Liverpool, Tranmere. 3, Eric. Tonight, Tuesday night, Wednesday night. 3 sleeps, buddy. I don't mean to ruin that one for you. Mark said Firmino will be back for the training camp in France. Thank you, Mark. Our dressing room is filled with top leaders, said Senior El Flamo. The captain's armband isn't relevant in this perspective. They lead our club together. Dublin's Finest said we should let Lovren go and get Ake as backup. The Dejan Lovren thing is definitely a conversation we haven't had tonight, actually. More rumours suggest Milan are still interested, even though the briefing that's come out of Liverpool is that we don't want to sell him. The figure is somewhere between 15 and 20. Wages were what I'd heard were a stumbling block with his agents. And by say I heard, I mean I read from some article somewhere. I think it came from... what are they called? Is it Gazzetta dello Sport, maybe? Maybe I read it there. It was an Italian publication anyway that suggested that his wages could be a stumbling block. If we moved him on, would it be too much of a gamble to roll the dice on Sepp Vandenberg and have him as fourth choice? Oh, I don't know. It'll be interesting actually to see how this develops as well, because if we sold him, I can't see us going out and buying somebody to block the pathway for him and Keanu Hoover. But yet at the same time, I can understand the potential for us to be in a bit of trouble there. It is interesting to see what happens. Antoango said, wasn't there a rumour about Ziyech's attitude? I couldn't tell you, my friend. I didn't read anything about that. Not saying again that it isn't right, just that I haven't read it. Red Hulk said there's only 31 days left of the transfer window. Loads of time, mate. Loads of time. Keep Lovren. We won't sign better for the price we'll sell him for, said Steve. Mate, I'm on board with that as well. If Lovren wants to move on for playing time, if Klopp said to him again like Kleiny or like Mignolet, mate, it's going to be limited and it's his decision, I get it, but I'm with you. I'm just thinking, why not? I mean, you've got a World Cup finalist there, somebody who's been at the club for a long time, knows the drill under Jurgen Klopp. If he's happy to settle for being fourth choice centre back and having limited game time, yeah, I'm sound with keeping him as well. Should just get a captain's armband printed on every kit, said Robbie. I don't think the rules would allow it, mate, but I like your way of thinking. Always solving problems, Robbie. That's the way to be, man. I like it. Well in. Ake would be expensive. Probably would. And Ake's good, but he definitely switches off from time to time. He can ball watch, but again, still developing. I was surprised that Chelsea let him go actually to Bournemouth. And Bournemouth did pay a decent fee for him, but he's a good young defender as well. Well, I don't know how young is he now actually. So is he one of them players that I probably think is younger than he actually is? LFC 8092 said, if Vandenberg was bought for the senior team, where does that put him in the pecking order right now? As things stand, fifth, I would guess. As things stand, you'd have to put him behind Van Dijk, Gomez, Matip, and Lovren because he hasn't proven himself yet. But he could go in, have a great pre-season, and Klopp could go, maybe there's going to be more time for this young man this season than I originally thought. I did read some articles that suggested that he was brought in to be a contender for the first team, though, right away. That he wasn't going to be dropped into the 23s. Me, myself, and I said my value of Lovren is 30 to 35 million. He's not going to go for that. What is he now? 30. What is Degsy? 31? I'm not sure what his contract situation is, but every figure I've seen mentioned hasn't been anywhere near that high. Okay, so when I say stuff like this, I don't ever want people to feel I'm having a go at them. Sorry, all I'm ever talking about is my opinion on these things. I don't mean to say yours is wrong, mine's right. I'm sorry, I don't ever mean to come across that way. What have we got? Brian Morrissey said VVD, Henderson, Robertson and Milner were all at that fancy private training camp in Portugal, training on their own last week. They're all hard at it. An Irish rugby player on the radio this morning met them. That is class to hear. On your fucking holidays and still out training. These boys are serious, aren't they? These boys want to go and do something. I'm so good. Thank you for sharing that, Brian, mate. That is so good to hear. Happily Egg said we could not let Lovren go and not replace him. Matip, Gomez, Vandenberg, that's plenty of cover. And Keanu Hoover as well, mate, coming through. Sylvan Distan is available on a free. Pass, and then pass again, Danny. Enbro said Premier League's a lot more physical and faster pace than the French League. Is that a fact with Fekir thinking about the knee? Maybe. It could be. But then again, we are going to be in the Champions League and you could use him in that, and you could use him spare. The reason if it was 55 million still for Fekir, I'd be absolutely saying fuck that, move on. But where I'm going with this is at 26, 27 million, if you use them in European games, if you use them in, let's say, more favourable home games in the Premier League where you need to unlock a defence that sits back, I can see the risk being worth it at that type of price point. Lovren won't get a divorce from Salah. Yeah, I mean it would. Yeah. Can you imagine the tears at the airport and all? You could. Yeah. I can get where you're coming from, mate. Who get the coffee in the morning? Stuart Wallace said contesting 7 competitions, slightly concerned with the depth up front. It's kind of 3 of those are kind of bullshit, though, to be fair. I was thinking about this earlier on. The Community Shield is one game, which would have been a friendly that we've basically changed now, which will be, we cancel the friendly because we're going to be playing the Community Shield. So that's kind of irrelevant. The Super Cup is 1 game, and then the World Club Cup maximum is 2 games. So really we're talking 3 extra games maximum than we would have played going into the season anyway. So we can say we're playing for 7 trophies, which is true, but it's not really an extra 3 competitions. It's just maximum of 4 games if you include the Charity Shield, which would have been a friendly anyway. Happily Egg said, Craig, did you see the video on YouTube? It was a bio of Vandenberg. He 20 outings in the league. Apparently his distribution is excellent. No, as I said, I don't really get a chance to watch much stuff on YouTube, mate. And when I do, I'm usually researching for either guests to bring on or stuff like that. Do I rate Maguire, asks Harry Lang. Yes. I mean, I don't put him at the same level as Virgil van Dijk or anywhere near it, but as a good proven Premier League standard centre back, yeah, I think he'll definitely improve United's defence if he goes in. Neymar to Barca, Dembele to the Reds. You know, I as I said earlier on the start of the show, I would take Ousmane Dembele. What else have we got? I agree, Craig. Fekir as a squad player makes total sense. Another enjoyable night. Thank you very much, Junkie Funky Smith. I love saying your name, mate. I've had really good fun tonight, actually. I mean, I was in great mood as soon as I had the conversation with Drifty, because that was fun and I very much enjoyed that. And that rolled into coming on here and having a chat with you guys. And as always, I've very much enjoyed this as well. Do you know what? I'm going to get that drifty thing out tomorrow because I just want you guys to enjoy it as much as I did. So I'm going to get that drifty thing out tomorrow. Keep an eye out for it around 3 o'clock, maybe something like that tomorrow. Putting the pressure on Connor Crosby right now, as in Connor, get the fucking thumbnail done, buddy. So yeah, keep an eye out for that one tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow night at 9:30 as well with another late night agenda. Wednesday again right through. Thursday we'll be doing the watch along. Yeah, there's just loads of stuff coming up, and then I've got stuff coming up at Saturday. We're recording segments with myself, Brian and Connor. That'll be for when I'm away on holidays though, so don't expect that to come out. And then on Monday I've got Cash and I've got Jace Roberts coming on for a podcast. So much stuff. I'm happy to be busy, but you know what? I'm more happy to be on here chatting with you guys. And look, if I can ask you all one favour before you head off, if you haven't yet subscribed, I'd love to get to 18,000 before we go on holidays. I say we, like we're all fucking going, before I go on holidays in 13 days. So please do hit that subscribe button. Let other people know about the channel. If you're watching this on playback later on, please do let me know your thoughts on anything we've spoken about tonight in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. And look, as always, I hope you guys have a wonderful day tomorrow. I look forward to chatting to you all. Take care of your family. Tell your loved ones that you love them. And up the motherfucking 6 times European Cup winning Reds.